Greetings. I want to talk a little bit today about what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. I suspect that most of you have just emerged from years of being formally educated in our institutions of higher education, which are of course centuries old. And those environments have kind of trained people to compete and be successful in that situation. And it's very different from what's required to be a successful entrepreneur. And I want to talk a little bit about what constitutes the differences and where they lie, so that you can kind of understand the perspective you need to have in order to succeed as an entrepreneur. First of all, the university setting, the environment of formal education optimizes for success in using different mentalities than the environment of a startup situation and that of an entrepreneur. Let's look a little bit at a few things that entails. First is the risk and reward that people embrace in a university education setting. You cannot afford in that setting to be wrong. You don't want to look dumb. Whereas in the setting of a startup and as an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to make mistakes and to be wrong and to look dumb, if that's what it takes. Now, in addition to that, the environment of a university setting is that you are expected to be perfect. You have to answer test questions, and there's only one answer to a test question that's correct. Whereas in the environment of an entrepreneur, you must accept the fact of being good enough and not perfect. You don't want perfection to be the enemy of the good. Because what you achieve in entrepreneurship is enough to get by and get to the next stage, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's a hard concept for a lot of people to accept. Let's also talk about collaboration. In the university setting, you're expected to know the answer. Whereas in an entrepreneurship setting, you must ask for help. Also in the university setting, you're tested individually. Whereas in entrepreneurship, you're rewarded as a team. In a university setting, everyone around you is competition. In an entrepreneurship setting, everyone is a resource. And understanding the mentality changes that need to be made in order to succeed in an entrepreneurship situation is very important. Some of you might choose not to be a startup entrepreneur, but you still want to make an impact in the industry, in a technology industry. What should you be looking for if you want to just join a large corporation? There's nothing wrong with that. Some people prefer to be in that situation, but it's not truly an entrepreneurial situation in most cases. Large companies are structured more like the formal education system. And so changing your mentality is not as necessary if you're in a large corporation. So if you are interested in becoming an entrepreneur, how do you take the first steps to involve yourself in a startup situation? First, I'd say you need to find a group of people with whom you share the same values and who are as smart as any people you know. You need to be true to yourself, and you need to find people who are honest with themselves and can be straightforward and transparent in dealing with you as well. It really takes a team to start a successful entrepreneurship company. Let's review some of the values that are important in Silicon Valley. The first one's creativity. Another one is teamwork. Fearlessness is highly valued. The ability to share ideas is necessary. A desire to share the wealth is another value in Silicon Valley. And the idea that you're owning your own future is something that's very important. In addition, giving back is of high value in Silicon Valley because you really are one of the most privileged people in the world to be able to have the experience of starting a company and being an entrepreneur in these days. You know, it's never an easy task to create a company and a culture in that company and to succeed as an entrepreneur. But starting a company is never easy, and there are all sorts of barriers to overcome. But the point is to be doing something that you really love to do with people that you can work easily with and enjoy. And if you persist, you'll probably find a great success and a fulfillment in your efforts.